Hey guys, I know there's a bunch of videos already out there on this guy, but I wanted to do a personal take on the Sig Juliet3 Micro. Um, this is the FD color, obviously. Bought it with my own money. It was not sent or sponsored by anyone. This is from Optic. I was able to grab this one at, I believe it was like $149. That was before tax and shipping and all that. So out of the box, right, looks nice and clean. The finish is pretty solid. You know, first impressions, it's, I guess I don't have the weight on it, but it's got a little bit of weight to it. But it feels sturdy, right? It's not like, oh, it's just heavy. It feels solid. Like you feel like you're getting a pretty solid optic with it. You know, just when I first glanced at it, I was just looking at it, flipped it over, you know, made in China. Not a huge surprise. A lot of stuff is. But again, seems like pretty solid quality. You got knurling. It is a push button flip, right? So you're going to push. That pin's going to come out the front, and then you'll be able to rotate. It's going to lock, and then you push again to flip back. It is reversible, right? You got 4 screws on the bottom here. Take those, you can flip it for left-handed. I am left-handed, and I'm running it right-handed so that I'm keeping my left hand on the grip in the trigger area, coming up with my right to move that. And I'm going to run it like that, see how I like it. When you're left-handed, you're really used to using a lot of right-handed stuff, so usually doesn't bother me too much. You know, the diopter here is, you know, once you set it, it's a set and forget. It is stiff. When you turn it, it's pretty stiff, but like I said, it's a set and forget. Ideally, you're going to set it up for you, leave it, never adjust it again. So it's like a good stiff, because you're not going to worry about it getting bumped and adjusted when you're not using it, or while you're using it. You know, simple kind of thumb nut style. This one, it's nice. You're not going to thread it too far where it comes off. They got it kind of molded in there to keep this, so you're not going to lose this guy. And then kind of the locking system, you got a lock washer in here. I am still going to do a little bit of Loctite on there, just because I do that with all of my gear now. But, you know, thumb nut, kind of basic, nothing crazy or quick detach kind of thing. Something I checked, like I said, you got the 4 screws on the bottom here if you want to flip it. These, for torque ratings, this is a 65 inch-pound torque rating on the thumb nut, and then these are 13. One thing I did do is I did pull a couple of these screws. I wanted to check and see if there was a Loctite on there, and if not, I wanted to put some on. I backed it out, and there is a Loctite on there, which is really nice, knowing that they took the proper steps to Loctite it. It's not a blue Loctite. It's kind of like the Magpul green Loctite that they use. And then these are torqued to 13 inch-pounds on each. And so when I set the torque wrench, I did notice when I torqued to that 13 inch-pounds, there was a tiny bit of movement. So not sure if they were torqued a little lower or, but I just wanted to make sure everything was to spec or to their recommendations. Eye relief on it is, for proper true eye relief, it's really short. Like when they're saying the 2 to 2.5 inches that you see in a lot of the videos, it's true. It's pretty much no, depending on where you set it up. I am still running a Magpul backup sight on my gun, so this is sitting in front of that, so it's a little bit forward. To get my proper true eye relief, it is like nose to charging handle. I find I can still run it back a little bit, not nose to charging handle, and still comfortably see through the optic, see clearly, and find target kind of thing, and see that dot fine. I could obviously move that back and have a better overall picture through that lens and a fuller field of view and get the entirety of that scope area. But for now, I'm running it with that backup iron, and I don't mind it right now. as far as glass clarity, it is clear. You know, you're not going to see it on here. So if you ever get the chance to go in, I mean, it's like edge to edge, it is really solid. I have like a PST Gen 2 1 to 6, and I would argue that the glass clarity is up there, very, very close to it. You know, and that's looking through just this, not, you know, when you're looking through just this, really nice and clear. I'm putting it behind a Romeo 5, and it's, you know, it still comes across very, very clear. Obviously, it's going to vary looking through this, and then whatever optic you're going to run in front, that's going to greatly affect your clarity, right? Just depending on the glasses that you got in the other optic. As far as running with your other optic, it lines up really nice with the Sig Romeo 5, nice and clean, even. In some other videos, if, you know, depending on what you've looked at out there, when you go to adjust your tube here, right? When you're looking through and you're looking at that dot and you adjust it, if your dot, so like let's say your mounts are just slightly different and you go to adjust your magnifier, you should see that adjust and line up dead center with that dot based on your zero distance. When I adjust these, that dot literally doesn't move. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but take note of that. If you're gonna put this on something, I would just make sure either one, you're putting it behind another Sig optic so that you're getting really similar height mount setup, or making sure that your mount and your optic that you're running are similar or identical. Because like I said, if it's a little off, you're probably, you know, and your dot is part way up on here, that's where it's going to live, because it does not appear that when you adjust these, that dot doesn't change its position at all. It sits right there. You know, other than that, it's I have enjoyed it. I do like it. It might not be for everyone, and like I said, I would very strongly consider what you're putting it behind based on your setup, because if you can't get it set up squarely behind that optic, you could definitely run into some issues, and this probably is not going to be the optic for you if you have another off-brand, you know, well, not off-brand, but another brand out there, whether it be Vortex or Primary Arms, Bushnell, whatever you're running. This might not be the guy for you unless you're running a Sig, again, just for that dot alignment. You know, it comes with the bikini cover, which is nice, just for keeping it clean while it's in a truck or somewhere. You got your manual, your different height mounts, whether you're running up True Code Witness of 1/3, you know, or 193 for night vision stuff. It's got all those, so you can adjust it with the screws and stuff. Yeah, overall though, like I said, so far happy with it. Gotta run it a little more and just continue to see how I like it. The one thing that I guess I want to mention quick, the one reason I went with this, I wanted something that locked, and this is just something to consider depending on what you're looking for. I wanted it to lock when I set it off to the side. I'd seen a video out there where a guy was shooting and just doing some demo stuff, and he was taking shots down range with his optic canted, and because he was just running a red dot for close quarters, and as he shot, just from the recoil of that, he didn't have a locking mechanism, and I literally watched the optic just go boop, and it just fell over. Now, I don't know if something was wrong with it. It was a high-end, very high-end optic, and that mount just fell right over, but that was because he was canted and just the angle he was shooting at, and he had to flip it back up to continue to take his shots that he was trying to get on target. So I wanted something that locked off to the side, stayed there until I needed it, and then could re-engage with that optic. But again, just want to give a quick review. I know there's a bunch out there, and hope this one helps. Thanks.